the screens are what makes this the value. I don't, even if they didn't put screens on this, I feel like just the sheer amount of parts on this and thought that went into the overall branding of this really pulls it through. It really, really is a well put together project. It's like over the top in all the best ways possible. HellCat Alice Mech-01. There's not many units from what I understand. We'll go through it all. They're basically saying that it's a kind of an update or re-envisioning or reimagining of the spring. You guys remember that board. It is a very Matrix-esque kind of styling. I would even go as far as to say is maybe a little bit even more busy than Matrix. But from the photos I saw, it actually does look pretty good. And we'll see here in a moment too. It has some plate options, it has some PCB options, kind of your normal stuff. It has a tented angle of 4 degrees, a typing angle of 7, an inner rotation of 9 degrees. It's a beautiful board. There's about 4 different colors. There is a spray coated gray, a dark gray anno, a baby pink anno, which is really cool, and a silver. But the keyboard, I believe, is 580 if memory serves. Let me double check. Yeah, 580. So 580, I don't think that's out of the norm for something like this. You guys will see why. Only gonna be raffle. So you have to enter a raffle. First things first. This, by far, and I have not opened it, is one of the coolest looking boxes I have ever seen for a keyboard. It is very, very neat. It has this like strap. Dude, it's actually pretty cool. They got this like pixel display of the keyboard. It's cool. And then they got this like strap on this side, and then they got like a little latch mechanism on this side. Look at that. So that's the box. There's nothing on the bottom. When we're talking about like a low MOQ raffle for something like this, and it's only 580, again, I think 580 is very fair for what you're getting here. We'll look at it. I don't think 580 is a bad price right off the rip here. And then I also think, like, I don't know how well this board would have done outside of having a small MOQ. This is like metal, by the way, guys. This is like heavy duty feeling. This is so cool. All right, so. Ooh, it's a very hefty box. Okay, well, this is just disassembly. Okay. So, guess we'll take that out first. Whoa. Actually, if it comes with this wrist rest, which I'm gonna double check, this is cool. Not that I care for wrist rests all that much, but it does come with it. That's crazy. Again, 580 for this is not looking too bad, considering this is a low MOQ product. All right, I'm gonna move the accessories over. I would have loved to maybe see a hard shell case, but I'm not pressed too much because this is a hefty box, so. Oh, this is nice actually. Oh, hell yeah, dude, look at this. This is pretty. This is definitely giving me Matrix vibes. Okay, I'm gonna make this very clear. I've seen Matrix-esque boards. I think this gives me a little bit of Matrix, but I think this is a little bit more over the top. Just a smidge in certain areas, but then not as over the top on something on the bottom. Very cool, though. This is pretty. I am vibing with this right away. Internals look good. Let's unbox this. So this is a better version of the Neo Ergo. I guess we'll see. I love all this visible hardware, by the way, guys. So wait, where are those little ears? I think these are right here. I think there's a few different colors you get, so they give you just like little caps you can put on, it looks like, but I want the ears because this is the HellCat after all. And then we'll go through some of the aesthetics. That's cool, actually. I do think that's dope. It's not my style, but I can see why it would appeal to people. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you don't have to put the ears on. They have little covers for those if you don't want them. I like the machining they used for the HellCat word. Almost looks like little jewels. I love the visible screws everywhere, man. Okay, I cannot stress enough how much all this visible hardware makes this keyboard look so dope. I like the top more than I like the bottom. Like, even the fact that there's hardware here is so cool. So it looks like we have a screen here. We have a daughter board down there. You just can't really see it, but there's the daughter board. We have a ribbed internal. We also have some pogo pins, as you guys can kind of see. All right, so what else did this come with? We had the little caps, which you don't have to use the horns. You can just put these on. These look like a mix of accessories for the PCB for LEDs, it seems. What else do we got? More accessories. Please tell me stabilizers. Stabs, nice. All right, so we get some stabs with this. And then there was the one other box which I put over here. Whoa, indeed. I'm guessing this is some sort of gasket for this. And then we have aluminum plates. All right, we got some foam. This is the hot swap PCB. So I do believe, actually, is there a difference between the 1.2 and 1.6? I think one had flex cuts, right? Yeah, this is the non-flex cut version. I low-key wouldn't mind if this was a foamy build, but I don't know what we want to do today. I'm undecided. They give you a shit ton of options for foam. Holy cow. I feel like everyone's probably going to build this foamy though, so perhaps we do no foam or just foam on the bottom. So this is the Aero Alice style. Owl Labs has been kind of known for doing this particular layout now. I don't mind it. I personally think it's fine. But I know some people don't really love the whole arrow key on their Alice, but Owl Labs has really been like sticking to it. Same with like all their, sub brands. Aluminum it is. We'll do no foam for this guy. Maybe that, yeah, I think this would be easier to do this first. Okay, this is really easy to put on. So really this is just kind of hooking into here. And then you wrap it around. But I do think this would probably be easier to do without switches installed. Interesting. And then it kind of... Oh, I like that. That is neat. That is actually really cool. And then does the PCB... Oh. Oh yeah, I would probably really recommend doing this prior, but... Then this gasket thing... Oh no, maybe this does work better afterwards. Hold on a second. Interesting. So it kind of double wraps... Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay, maybe we do put on the switches first then. That would be easier. So, blue cheese switches. Using this gasket in place of a plate fork is the way to go. Oh, true. That probably would work as well. All right, so I think that's... Oh, there's two more screws. These ones. Okay. Whoa. So what do we got inside here? Wow. I have never seen this many pogo pins in a singular keyboard in my entire life. What the f is this for? Oh, an RGB thing in the middle. Oh, that's cool. Great use of pogo pins. Can you imagine this keyboard a few years ago where this was all ribbon cables and JSTs? So kudos to them for actually implementing an easy way to put this together. Pogo pin here, pogo pin here, pogo pin here. This is for something or other. It's a screen of some sort. I'm guessing some sort of like LCD dot matrix sort of thing display. We have a screen over here. Really nice branding on this too. That's cool. I like that a lot. We have a middle pogo pin and two pogo pins over here. And the daughter board comes out on this side. We have some silicone pieces here, similar to what we saw in the the QK80CU, which looks like some sort of buffer for the keyboard. You can even see some of the marks on the aluminum from where that silicone piece has been sitting right there. This looks like a lot to disassemble, so I don't think there's really a need to get under here, which is fine. But I do like the stepped internals on this. The stepped internals are quite nice to see on this board. This floats a little bit. This one doesn't float because it's a screen, which makes sense. And that's a separate piece. These float a little bit, so that's appreciated as well. All right, let's start putting this together then. And this should literally be as fun and as easy to put together as the Neo Ergo, minus the catchball system, which is we're putting that in place and we're putting that in place. And that's the assembly of the board. That's pretty much it. So we have assembled the board now. Now we get to screw it together. Kudos to them. This is crazy nice for that reason. And then we just put this like this, and that's it. Okay, that's all right. Okay, be careful as you screw these screws in for those maybe watching this back with the board. It does look like part of the frame, if you go too tight with this, actually bends. So just stop screwing the moment you feel pressure, as you should anyways. There's never should be a reason to crank your boards like that. That usually ends up causing more issues. Oh shit, I'm supposed to put oh no, these are going afterwards. Oh wait, no, maybe these were supposed to go in before. Oh well. I think these were supposed to go in prior? They probably were. They're just a little diffusers. Yeah, these are supposed to go in between, I think. But we didn't do that this time. It's fine, it's fine. Oh wait, what are these? Let me open this up one more time. Was that? I have a feeling I know what this was for. I'm really not sure. Does it say what to use those for? They have a disassembly guide, but they should have like a little assembly guide as well. No, not really. I'm not sure. Alignment pins of some sort, perhaps. It doesn't really need to be aligned anywhere. I don't know. I don't know what these two pieces in particular are for. The only thing I can think of is perhaps it's for this. But no, that would stick out way too much. Or maybe that's the point. I'm not too sure. It does have a little divot there. So maybe this is what I'm thinking then. Maybe it is this. It looks so goofy there. I don't know. You know what? I don't think we actually need it anywhere, to be completely honest with you guys. So I'm just going to leave it out for now. I don't know. Again, it didn't make it super clear as to where those go. Yeah, I would love a little paper build guide, just like a quick diagram of how to build this for the insides. Although, like I said, it is extremely easy. But I think if they're going to include little parts like that, especially even with these, like little reminders, like not the biggest deal, but little reminders of like, hey, this goes here and that goes there. But other than that, it does seem like a really simple build, which I'll give them kudos to. That takes a lot of work to make it a super simple build. Dualshot for the win. It is a very solid set. I feel like it's a weird set too, because like sometimes I feel like Dualshot would not actually go with a lot of things, but it actually kind of goes with a lot of things. Whoa! Has like a startup. Pause. Let me see that again. That was sick. Has like a little. Okay. Ooh, this is really nice. Dude, alright. I'm vibing with this. Yeah, and then I don't know how to toggle all the things on the screen, but they got this cool thing down here too. Interesting. I don't know. Oh, shit. That's a button. Oh my goodness. You can color match this, I guess. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like it on this like pastel kind of color. That's dope. The animation for the caps lock is like so tough to see. I think they should have done something a little different for that. It just literally locks itself and you can barely even see it happening. And then the layer animation's interesting, but I don't know how to toggle layers on this right now. So is that a button? No, it's not a button. That is so cool though. Oh, it even has like a Windows and Mac mode. That is so, dude, this is so nice. Oh, some more RGB on the back too. That's cool. This is a nerdy keyboard. I know, I'm vibing with it. Yeah, man, this is cool. Oh, that's a button here too. What does this button do? This little red thing is a button. So it clearly cycles through some different modes. Oh, as you type, this fills up. I love the branding on this. This is cool. So with the ears, this is the side profile. Cool. Now, let's talk about the keyboard itself. Before I do a typing test here. For $580, considering all the pieces you get, and I feel like all the features that are in this board, I think value perspective for like what you're getting, yeah, I think it's, I think the value's there. I think, to me, this is a little bit nicer than the HellCat in all the right ways to make this kind of like its own thing. HellCat's obviously a little different, but I think this actually works very well. I 100% think you're getting your money's worth. If anyone's concerned about, am I getting $580 worth of stuff? Yes, is the answer. The screens are what makes this the value. Even if they didn't put screens on this, I feel like just the sheer amount of parts on this and thought that went into the overall branding of this really pulls it through. It really, really is a well put together project. It's like over the top in all the best ways possible. Let's see what the blue cheese switches do for this. There's no foam in this. Just aluminum plate, blue cheese switches, and GMK keycaps. Well, the spacebars probably don't pop because we're using blue cheese switches, which are a very deep sounding switch. Oh, it tells you even what you're typing over here too. So you can get like, oh, that's neat. Dude, I think it sounds pretty good. I am all for this. This is really nice. This was hot swap, yeah. A lighter switch? We can, here, I'll do this. I'll do you one even better. Let's pop some other switches into this. Again, the only real criticisms I have is, again, I think if you're going to make something as unique as this, I know the goal is probably that they made this super simple to build, but I do think a build guide goes a long way. So yes to a build guide for me. I mean, dude, you can hear the difference of the milky yellows. And then these are the deeper blue cheese switches. It just goes to show you how deep the blue cheese switches really are. Blue cheese switches are really deep. They're really fun because they're really deep. But, I mean, overall, I'm happy with this. I think the sound profile is great. And no foam is so goated. Yeah, it's a very deep sounding board. I think if anyone's interested in this and wanted a deeper sounding board, yeah, blue cheese switches for sure. But this definitely has potential to be a good all-arounder for literally everything. I'm extremely happy with this. I think this is a very valid keyboard. Usually Owl Labs projects I'm meh about. I really like this one. I genuinely think this is dope. Like, look at this. This in the pink color for Darling, because they have a pink one too. It does have the wrist rest. Here, I'll show you guys. Let me open it up and pop it on the board as well. I love the wrist rest. I dislike how it doesn't align properly. But, I mean, ideally... Yeah, I don't love this. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think the wrist rest, like, this gap over here... Is it backwards? This guy, bro. I'm sure it's the right way around. Why would it be this way? This is the way that's... Guys, I'm going to do it just so to prove you guys, okay? Why would it be this way? It's upside down? It's the side with the feet. I don't love the wrist rest. I think the wrist rest, in all honesty, would have looked way cleaner had this been like the same angles as this. But ideally, not to get kind of pretentious about this, if you're going to use a wrist rest, I would suggest, based off of a lot of stuff that I've learned, to bring your wrist rest a little further back, actually, if you're going to lean on it, because a lot of people do. Ideally, though, you really shouldn't use wrist rests for that at all. Wrist rests are meant for resting your wrists, so ideally you would still want to float your wrists as you type, and then bring them down to rest. But if you are someone who's going to be using them, you know, to just lean, bring them further back. Weird, I know, but this is, from what I've learned from a lot of people I've spoken to, probably the ideal way to rest your wrists in a permanent position, which, again, you shouldn't be doing, period. You should be floating your wrist a little bit. I do also want to point out that I really think the front of this board is so cool, too. Look at that. So many just little aspects about this board just look so good. Whoever gets lucky enough to get one of these, because this is a raffle system, I think you'll be very, very happy. Swap the ears and like do it like this. I don't know about that. Alright guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Bye everyone. Love you. See ya.